Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and in this video I will be going over the new 4K Ultra HD pre-orders and announcements for May 5th, 2023. Now keep in mind release dates and technical specs are subject to change. If there are any changes or additional retailer exclusives, I will update them in a future video. Also, be sure to check out my previous 4K pre-order videos for titles you may be looking for and were not covered here. Direct Amazon links to the titles listed in this video when they are live can be found on the channel's community page. Paramount has given the official release date to the film Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, and that date will be May 30th. I stated in an earlier video that it will support HDR, Dolby Vision, and Dolby Atmos for the audio. The standard slipcover edition will be available locally at various online retailers. There will also be a non-exclusive steelbook edition of the film, which is also currently up for pre-order. Another Paramount release, Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 1, is getting the 4K treatment. That release date will be June 6th, and it will support HDR and Dolby Vision for the grading, and it looks like only a DTS 5.1 for the audio. The pre-order for John Wick Chapter 4 has been alive for quite some time, but now Lionsgate has issued the official release date of June 13th. HDR and Dolby Vision will be supported, as well as probably a really stellar Dolby Atmos audio track. The standard slipcover edition is available for purchase at various online retailers, and it should be in most stores locally. There will also be several exclusives to go over. First up, Amazon will have an exclusive edition at that website, as well as Walmart with a collector's edition. Now, Walmart does have a steelbook version, but it's Blu-ray only, so only the collector's edition will be in 4K. And that is currently up for pre-order over at Walmart's website, and it should be in store on release day. And last but not least, Best Buy, of course, will have a Steelbook edition available in store on release day and available also for shipping. Now, this next bit of news will make a lot of people happy, as it looks like on June 20th, you'll be able to own both Avatar and Avatar: The Way of Water on 4K. Now, this is not confirmed. At this point, it's actually technically still a rumor, but I'm hearing that the official announcement will come in the next several days. I heard May 9th that this will go up for official pre-order. So I'm pretty excited about this one. We don't have any artwork or any kind of additions, but right now it looks like I would say HDR is probably a sure thing, probably Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos for the audio. If this actually comes to pass, you can be sure by next week's Friday video, you'll definitely have more information, so stay tuned to the channel when that becomes available. In last week's video, I announced that National Lampoon's Vacation was coming to 4K, and it looks like Best Buy will have an exclusive Steelbook edition, which is currently up for pre-order. As a reminder, the release date will be June 27th. I locked in my Steelbook order, and you can do the same, so head on over to Best Buy's website. Shout Factory dropped a lot of 4K announcements this week, so here we go. First up, on July 4th, Upgrade will be coming to 4K. I expect HDR and probably the same DTS audio mix from the Blu-ray release. I'm pretty excited for this one. I think it's grossly underrated, so I'll be looking forward to checking it out on 4K. Shout Factory announced that the early 80s film The Burning is getting the 4K treatment, and that release date will be July 11th. While tech specs are not official, HDR is probably a lock, and maybe Dolby Vision, and I would wager that the DTS audio from previous releases will be included. It looks like early retailer listings have the Lionsgate release of the action film Sisu coming to 4K also on July 11th. While we don't have any official tech specs or anything like that, I would say HDR, most likely Dolby Vision, and probably Dolby Atmos for the audio. Stay tuned to the channel when this listing becomes live. July 18th, Shout Factory Screen Factory will have World War Z arriving on 4K. Once again, we don't have tech specs, but HDR, most likely Dolby Vision, and I could go either way, whether we're going to get a Dolby Atmos audio upgrade or just the DTS original, but I'm pretty excited to check this one out. Now, for those wondering, I don't expect that the unrated cut will be featured in 4K, mostly based off of Shout Factory's history. I know for some fans of the film, this will be an absolute deal breaker, but either way, stay tuned when Shout Factory releases their official specs in the coming weeks. I will update that in a future video. And lastly, from Shout Factory, July 25th, you're getting the rest of the Chucky films on 4K, and beginning with Bride of Chucky. Now, we won't have any official specs on any of the 4K editions of the Chucky films going forward, but based off the history, I expect at the very least Bride of Chucky as well as Seed of Chucky to be getting HDR and Dolby Vision and possibly Dolby Atmos upgrades. Now, when it comes to Curse of Chucky, I don't know. I think maybe a DTS 5.1 will probably be a lock, as well as Cult of Chucky, same thing. Both of these were direct-to-video, if I'm not mistaken. We may get a surprise. These films may get Atmos upgrades, or all four of them may just settle for the DTS 5.1s. But I will update that in a future video, once again, when Shout Factory releases their tech specs. This was a bit of a welcome surprise, as Robert De Niro's film A Bronx Tale looks to be coming to 4K on September 12th. We don't have official tech specs, but I suspect HDR is probably a lock, and a DTS audio mix. Kino Lorber announced this week that the 4K edition of the original Murder on the Orient Express will be coming to 4K. HDR and Dolby Vision were announced, and DTS for the audio. We don't have an official release date, but sometime probably in the latter half of 2023 or early 2024. Synapse announced that a 4K edition of the film The Grave Dancers will be coming sometime, hopefully in the near future. There are a couple of international 4K pre-orders and announcements to go over, and don't forget, if you choose to import, most will play on US players. On August 21st, the UK will have the 4K edition of Gregory's Girl. It will support HDR, Dolby Vision, and DTS for the audio. Slated for release sometime in August, it looks like Germany will be getting the 4K of Eden Lake starring Michael Fassbender. We don't have tech specs yet, but I think HDR and DTS will be included, and stay tuned to the channel when more official information becomes available. UK retailers on September 4th will have the 4K edition of The Wicker Man. Now, just be warned, I checked over on Amazon UK, this one is going to be pretty pricey. And I suspect that a US release will be forthcoming, probably from Lionsgate, because of the 4K edition of Ron, released by the same label. I think that one will happen, so I'm going to hold out, but if you can't wait, check it out over on Amazon UK, and you can order your copy there. Now, as far as tech specs go, I can't get any confirmation whether HDR or Dolby Vision will be included, but I'll keep checking and update that in a future video. Hopefully coming sometime in 2023, it looks like the 4K edition of the film Angel will be arriving on the format. We don't have any tech specs or official artwork, but stay tuned to the channel, and when more information becomes available, I'll post it here. Now, this is an interesting development, as Germany looks to be getting a 4K edition of The Great Escape. Now, what makes this one different from the domestic US release from Kino Lorber is this looks to include HDR. I'm kind of interested in this one. This is worth investigating further, whether it is true HDR or like an SDR in HDR container kind of situation, but I think I'll be checking into this one further. We don't have an official release date. All we know is it looks to be arriving sometime in 2023. And finally this week, the 4K edition of the film Razorback will be arriving sometime this year. Now, as of right now, it looks to be only included as part of a collector's edition, but I can also see a single release arriving sometime down the line. But once again, stay tuned to the channel when more information becomes available. So those are this week's 4K pre-orders and announcements for May 5th, 2023. Don't forget to use the Amazon links in the channel's community page if you're interested in any of these titles. I will also use a general link in the comments section below. And please let me know what you're planning to pick up of the titles listed in this video and the ones you're looking forward to the most. And finally, a special thank you to my Patreons for your continued support. You are very much appreciated. If you would like to support me through Patreon, I will leave a link in the description of this video. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.